Today, we will return to the portfolio after everything we've tried. In this video, we'll explain the current strategy and what the latest strategy is. Everything we discuss in this episode will be my own opinion. Please do your own research before you purchase anything, based on your own opinion, future expectations, and goals. The first thing we'll start with, brothers, is the current topic. How will we reach 1,348.53? This is the current topic in M1 Finance. We will see what happens in MVC this month, and we will look at the sections I have. And why am I giving you the sections for this month? So how can I update? I reviewed the account, and you can also update it from month 1 to month 12, 500 to 500. Sometimes I do 2,000, 2,000 just for certain things, but the important thing is to clarify that I followed the same method for the account. I found $10,500, $10,500 in December. The goal, God willing, if we keep going at this pace, it will be $10,000 every month. And we will see, for example, how the division is done and so on. Now, let's go back and look at the stocks I have. Before we look at the stocks, we'll look at the sector. Up until this point in time, I have carefully divided it into 3 distinct types, such as, for example, large cap, and there is a substantial $16,000. We will observe what is contained within large cap defensive stocks, which amount to $4,500, and the primary goal is for it to be direct so that if there's a significant drop, currently we do not commence with a major drop. And what about the mid cap? And what comes in the middle of this large cap? And what about the mid cap? The way I choose their names is different from the usual definition that's commonly used. Hey, why do you need these names? Because most of the time, people say that mid cap starts from $100 billion or even $200 billion. But we think that Zaxxon ends it every day. And since Zaxxon ends it every day, every cap is affected. So this mid-cap situation is not really the same as the usual mid-cap. It starts to go out of fashion. Okay, let's look at each one and see what's inside. Look at the large cap. These are the large caps. The companies here are Apple, $3,000, Amazon, $3,000, Google, also $3,000, Microsoft and Nvidia, $2,900. And here is Oracle, about $1,200, but it hasn't increased by 34% recently. These are the companies that are seeing growth. The initial goal was for each one to reach 5,000 or 10,000 before moving on to the next step. But now we are starting to see what the reality or the expectations for 2026 are. It is starting to appear that large caps might be able to give a sense of how things are. There is never 100% certainty in finance, but since there is no 100% guarantee, there can't be any certainties. But there could be a slowdown in what is called large caps, and there might be a shortfall soon. But most of the time, this shortfall will be in this area. A lot of things are happening like what we see with Microsoft, and it could also happen with Google and Nvidia, but nothing major. However, there is a notable shortfall because their valuations are not low compared to other companies, and that's what causes it. I can't put in the effort at this time, but I have an opportunity to buy so I can reach targets of about $5,000 in each one. Amazon unfortunately couldn't effectively keep up with the rapidly changing market demands in the year 2025. It was unable to achieve significant and sustained profit growth during that period, and that is precisely why it couldn't improve much in the subsequent year, 2026. What improves more is the profit taking. It's expected that we'll see profit taking at the beginning. This year, in the first 6 months or even the first 4 months, that's why I said, honestly, I won't add more here. I'm going to move to defensive stocks. These are companies that go up when the opposite happens. When tech goes down, these go up. And as you know, when tech goes up, these go down. That's why we've seen these drop. And there are companies like BJ. Like BJ, for example, when there's a drop, I have invested in Procter & Gamble. And they sell a wide variety of products that people utilize every single day, such as well-known brands like Gillette and Clear. And everything you use, you can easily go to the official Procter & Gamble company website, and you will clearly see that all the various products and essential items you use every single day significantly help to generate substantial money and considerable profits. This is good because it tells us stories, and it doesn't matter whether the stories are good or not. Progressive truly sells, and finally $100 was AVC, $1,000 in the recent past was not AVC, but just this morning Progressive. $10 at BJ, $100, $200 at Walmart, and $100 at Procter & Gamble, aren't you? Until you become truly excellent, perhaps because you are genuinely afraid of embracing new technology, You might then hide within companies, perhaps those called solid, and consequently the entire company becomes very apprehensive and fearful. So this important work makes it significantly big, but it is widely expected that the complete opposite will ultimately happen. The significant problem was that you would simply just get rid of some money. This applied to Florida and the entire state of Florida, and this substantial amount of money that will be effectively disposed of, the resulting profits will undoubtedly return to their previous robust growth trajectory. Meaning, if I were to leave, there would be a clear and positive growth in terms of overall profits, but if you do not properly get rid of it, there is a substantial fine, a one-time significant financial penalty. BJ has rapid growth, almost the same as Costco's growth in terms of subscription-based models. It sells the machine in a way similar to Coral, but it has a card that is disposed of once a year if you want. And you should know that when you go to buy from BJ, it will be cheaper than regular supermarkets like Walmart, Marjan, and others. This idea shows that Costco helped BJ grow, and BJ is still only in a few states, while Costco is all over America. This truly gives BJ a very big, incredibly easy, and expansive runway for significant future growth and development, and one absolutely cannot really slow down or hesitate simply because there is a feeling of fear. I genuinely think that Donald Trump's comprehensive policy approach toward all citizens residing within the United States of America is precisely what consistently surprises me the most. But in the future, I think I'll be able to achieve decent numbers since things are expected to double according to analysts in the future. I wanted to buy Costco, but I found Costco at Walmart, which was a great advantage, and that's what made me start selling it. As I said, that's their goal. They don't have to enter in order to reach a high level. Rather, we keep them. We stash the cash in case of financial volatility. This is what is called market rotation. What does market rotation mean? It means things change. And that's what was written in the comments, to protect the portfolio in times of headwinds. So when the equation changes, they say that investors are hiding in them, and they call it a technical strategy. And when it gets a good boost and when the country rescues it, it will start to exit normally. So there is no recovery. There is no recovery because it remains in the same growth. They won't rescue it significantly because the same growth is doing the rescuing. Okay, which company supports the women's sector? Or the third twist is that the fund is buying Netflix. And this is the fear of a simple company. But the fear is that it will take credit to acquire Warner Bros., and this will make it compete with Netflix on a large scale. And as you can see, it will challenge Netflix on a large scale. And it will exit from this situation, and this will be very dangerous. Subscribing to Netflix is easy, except in China. There's nothing to be afraid of with Netflix, in my opinion. This is the current breakdown that we see now in terms of large cap defensive stocks. If there is any change in this situation, I will share it with you in upcoming videos, God willing. If you have any questions, write them for me in the comments below. We put here an amount of a level that doesn't show everything. This is the situation. Give it to me. The biggest financial shortfall right now is this cost because of what was mentioned, and this is their future, and large cap is the first. See you in the next video.